Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome. I love you. I'm Nathaniel, and I have a reading for you today. I have just pulled all of the cards and kind of looked over them, so let's get right into it. The overarching themes that I have for us today are represented in these cards: work satisfaction. It says, seek that which fulfills your soul, and jump shift your life. The note is tune into crystals. What I'm kind of getting is that you're on the path of learning how you can do what you love and still have your needs met. The numbers 11, 12, 13 may be significant. I feel that you're in a space where you're ready to sort of almost quantum leap. You're ready to manifest something very new and change your reality very drastically. Here's the Magician. This is my Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck. I love the art on it. You've alchemized a lot recently, and a lot of it is coming down to how you create. Part of this jump shift has a lot to do with embracing creation. I have this card out. Create. This is from a beautiful deck called My Friend Fire. I love this beautiful deck. I have more cards for this reading to show you from this deck in a minute. I feel that you're in a space where you have worked through a lot of shadow. We have the Devil out. What's cool about this deck is this is the same character as the Magician, just at a very different point. We have the Devil out. I feel that you've really worked through, by using your resources and going on your own internal journey, you've worked through this energy. The phase of life that you've been in lately has really pulled you through some of your darkest spaces, your darkest internal landscapes, and now you're in a place where you've really done a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and you are just about to experience this jump shift, this crazy leap that is going to change your reality in a lot of ways. Behind the Magician, I have the King of Chalices. I think this reversed. I think this speaks to this shadow making you feel like you are disconnected from your emotions. Sort of in this last phase of life where you've been working through the shadow, you might have felt disconnected from your emotions. I also have the Six of Stakes or Six of Wands reversed. This speaks to like sort of finding that inner confidence in yourself, even when you may not feel it or when you may not be hearing it externally. Like here, you may not be receiving encouragement from the people around you, but this speaks to really kind of finding it within yourself, learning how to find it within yourself. I feel like as you've been on this journey of working through this shadow, you have really learned how to depend on yourself, how to be independent, and how to not need anyone else's approval. And it may have been a very turbulent emotional time for you, but you've done it. You've successfully worked through this. We also have Strength reversed. And this is also speaking to, I feel, the challenging aspects of this phase of your life and the ways that you have kind of felt like you've been incredibly strong and you're tired of it. You're tired of needing to be strong. You're ready to rest. You're ready to lay down and recover. You're ready to experience this satisfaction. You're ready to do what you love and have that be enough. I feel that this experience has brought you to be the Queen of Cups, Queen of Chalices. You're in a space where you've mastered your emotions in a way that you're able to show up for yourself and show up for others and honor your own emotions, honor your own intuition. This has very much drastically trained your intuition to be very incredible. And I think that when you hone in on this magic, when you learn to be intentional with how you manifest and what you manifest, and when you learn to see it with clarity, you will be unstoppable. This is where you're heading, this jump shift. And you've learned to really embrace your emotions and your intuition through this process. And this ties to another card I've pulled, the High Priestess card in my Angels and Ancestors deck. The message is harness mystic power. I feel that you have done this, and if that's still something that is being revealed to you, you're being called to awaken to this profound work that you've done. Because what you have done in the ways that you've defeated this energy, in the ways that you've worked through it, you're incredible. We have the Magician and High Priestess both out in 2 different decks. I also have the Moon that's come out. Take note of intuitive messages. This goes hand in hand with the High Priestess. The Moon may be significant. It may be a sign for you from your guides. Look out for seeing the moon, whether it's in art, whether it's the literal moon. Connect with your intuition. I think that is guidance you are receiving right now. I also have the Heart Guardian out. It's a beautiful card. Love and let yourself be loved. Beautiful. I think that this is very much where you're at through healing your shadow, through the shadow work that you've done. Your heart is opening in a way that you may have never experienced before, and that's going to bring you beautiful, beautiful blessings, and it's going to change your life in a very significant way. It's going to jump shift your life. Let's see. I also have pulled some cards from this other deck just to get more context. The first card I got was Stay in Your Lane. I think you're being guided to, in this shadow, if this has other people involved, if there are people who have been triggering you in a way that is forcing you to face your own shadow. I'm particularly getting a narcissist. If there is a narcissist in your life that has been connected to the shadow work you've been doing, you're being guided to stay in your lane. And this narcissist may also be a trauma bond situation. This card speaks to feeling that kind of delusional commitment to someone, but that it's not for your highest good, not for your highest truth. The reason you may have been drawn to this person or connected with this person is because of this trauma bond. They are a narcissist, and you are being guided to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane with this. And that's sort of what you've been learning and integrating. You've defeated this shadow. You've learned to stay in your lane, to let this narcissist be themselves. You've learned to hold your boundaries, and you've dissolved this trauma bond. And if you haven't, this is what you're being guided to do. You are a legend. You are a legend. You deserve better. You deserve better, and you are worthy of people who respect you and people who love you. And you are capable of receiving this respect. And as soon as you maintain your boundaries and learn to give yourself that respect, it calls it in from others. And people who aren't ready to give you that respect don't deserve a platform in your life or in your awareness. That's exciting. I feel energized talking about this. To get more into the creative, exciting things that are bringing you into this new timeline, I have some cards here that I just want to show you. Firstly, I love this deck. The more you create, the more the universe is. Pretty straightforward. This speaks to the act of creation being a magical manifestation of consciousness. As you create and create things from your awareness, things that you dream up, things that only you can dream up, you bring life to the universe, and you bring life to universal cosmic energies that have yet to manifest. And I believe it's our purpose to create. I believe that's why we're here. And this is speaking to how as you create, you bring truth into the world. And that is the most beautiful thing we can do. I've got these other 3 cards from this same beautiful deck. The kind of overarching theme I'm getting from this part of the message has to do with this 6 of Stakes reversed, this energy of like finding your self-confidence. This card says, would you be nervous performing for a galaxy you'd never see again? It's pretty abstract, but it's kind of speaking toward like that sort of imposter syndrome. It's speaking toward that like anxiety of sharing your creation, sharing your art, sharing your truth. You know, it's saying like, if it didn't matter, if your performance happened and then it was done and over and you never had to, you know, think about it again, like, would you be scared? Because ultimately, like, life's too short to care that much about that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, beautiful message. Maybe you'll get some intuitive callings from that. But I think you're being guided to embrace this sort of performance, embrace this sort of sharing. You know, sharing art is vulnerable, but it's what we're meant to do, you know? Like, who cares? Who cares if you're scared? Do it. And that resonates with me too, so I get it. Yeah, some further kind of messages from this realm are kind of just the more emotional side of this, the more emotional sort of work you're doing. It has to do with kind of seeing yourself in truth and seeing yourself for who you really are and seeing where you're at fully and honestly with humility and accepting where you are. This card says, accept how you feel, then move through it. Because we can't move on from aspects of our shadow, in a sense, until we accept ourselves 100%. And once you do that, that's how this magical shift is happening. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, is you are, you know, facing these aspects of you. You're learning your shadows and you are moving through in the same way that this guy goes from being like sad and gray, and then like as soon as he like absorbs himself, then it transmutes, and then he is liberated into rainbow. And I feel like that's you, that's where you're going. Actually, it's funny how they're both facing the same direction, sort of similarly rainbow. Beautiful. This is where you're headed from this work that you've done. And the last message from this deck says, yeah, I guess I do stuff, but I don't feel like an actual thing yet. And this is the same sort of imposter syndrome. It's like feeling like, I don't know, like scared to say it with your chest that like you're an artist, you're a creator, you're that person who is doing some cool stuff. But yeah, relatable. I feel like a lot of people are sort of hesitant to say like, oh yeah, I'm doing cool stuff, you should come look at it, but it's like, yeah, maybe sometimes imposter syndrome is sort of, a sign that we're doing things right, so keep doing what you're doing and learn to kind of sit with that discomfort so that you can see yourself in more truth and make art from your truth. Let's see. The last sort of messages I have for today come from this beautiful deck, and I feel like these last two cards are coming from directed guidance, like sort of saying, this is what you're meant to work on right now. We have receive, and it is reversed. Receive. This is also aligned with this high priestess energy, this sort of feminine, intuitive energy with the moon. Receiving is a quality of the divine feminine, and you are being guided to allow yourself to receive. That may be something. 1717 on the clock, which is also 88. You are being guided to allow yourself to receive. That could be in any different aspect, and anywhere that you successfully integrate this is planting a seed on the grander scale. So even if it's like, if someone compliments you, instead of getting shy, and saying, oh, I don't know, yeah, like I guess, like you just say like, thank you, like I'm grateful for that compliment, like you receive that compliment, and then you're planting a seed for the grander things. Because in order to make this jump shift, you're going to have to receive. You're going to have to receive from the universe, whatever this jump shift looks like to you, whatever this quantum leap looks like, it's going to require you to surrender and receive. And the other aspect of this is a similar reversed card. It's listening. You're being guided to listen. And I feel called to read this message to you from the booklet. Similar vein, you're meant to listen right now. Here's what this says. I'll hold it upright as I read it. This card invites you into a deep, quiet space of presence and receptivity. Listening is not passive. It is an active, sacred practice of receiving. This is the beginning of deeper awareness and aligned direction. What becomes clear when you tune into your heart and listen? What whispers have been there all along? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. What do you hear? Listening, I want to read this sentence again. Listening is not passive. It is an active, sacred practice of receiving. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. I feel like this comes also into listening to your intuition, listening to where you're at, you know, sorry if the focus isn't great. Yeah, I think that as you practice, because it's inward and outward, you know, within and without, you know, micro, macro. I don't know if you're familiar with these concepts, but as you learn to listen within, 2022, so 222 might be significant for you. As you learn to listen, it reverberates throughout your entire being. You know, even if it's like meditating for 5 minutes, and then you kind of gain an insight that you wouldn't have otherwise, that's going to shift your timeline. It's going to contribute to this jump shift that you're ready to receive. And so this kind of goes hand in hand with the receive card. How can you receive? Where can you listen? Where can you receive guidance? Maybe someone gives you a compliment, right? How we were saying earlier. Maybe someone gives you a compliment. 2112, and I'm pointing up here because I see it up here. I know it's not going to be there in the video, but 2112 on the clock. 33 as well. Maybe someone gives you a compliment, and this compliment is something that is like, oh, I really like your writing style. Like, I just feel like you summarized your point very well, and it was very clever. And maybe that's something that you just inherently do, and you weren't even aware of this strength. And then that single compliment, if you are listening and you are being receptive, and you receive it rather than getting in your triggers about it, that compliment might open you up to a whole new path. 2211. And then maybe you will start focusing on how to use your writing more intentionally, and that'll completely shift your timeline, because that wasn't something in your awareness before, but since you were listening and being receptive, then it opens you up to that. Beautiful. And then let's see, I have 2 more cards or 3 more cards that have revealed themselves because I've picked some up. Sort of in the same vein of listening, we have Hermit, Retreat, and Recharge. So if you're familiar with this archetype, the Hermit, it's all about turning inward and meditating. Yeah, you're ready to recharge. 2255. That's also 77. Beautiful Hermit archetype. If you know it, you know it. But yeah, embracing this will bring you closer to this jump shift, further into it, I should say, because you're there. You're already here. These bits of guidance are just seeds that are going to help expand it. 55 is a significant number. Yes. So that, and then also Air Guardian, shift your perspective. So if you know the air element, this is all about allowing your perspective to be open toward expansion and shifting. It's pretty straightforward. And also want to show you this Eagle, see from a higher perspective. It's similar medicine. Oh, okay, we got this for you too. Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. And I want to read the sort of summarized guidance for this. Maybe if I know where the booklet is. Okay. Cool. Let's see. I feel like I need the Jeopardy music. This says, so Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. Slow and steady, breathe and flow. Take a gentler approach. Beautiful. So slowing down. And if you've ever heard of this, slowing down is planting a lot of seeds for your reality. Kind of like how you live in one moment is how you live in all moments. So even if it's like brushing your teeth slower, I've even just done it where I get the idea and then I just walk really slowly for like, a minute and then go about the rest of my day. But just, it just sort of shakes up your awareness in a way that plants a seed. So yeah, be graceful in movement and action. Slow down. That's guidance you're getting. And last card, Seeds and Sprouts. This is a beautiful card. I've actually haven't pulled this for myself before. Seeds and Sprouts, but I definitely resonate with this message. I want to read this from the book. Let's see. Right here. Beautiful. Flipped right to it. Okay. Seeds and Sprouts, number 8. Hands cradle new life in a lush garden, the warmth of the sun nurturing what is yet to bloom. This is your invitation to reflect on what you're nurturing in your life. With care, patience, and trust, what we nurture takes root and grows. Here, your power lies in conscious tending. The potential is already in you, you simply have to name it. Feel the little seeds between your fingertips. Thank them for being here with you. Take a moment to honor what you've already planted and to assess what needs to change. You are allowed to dream and explore new directions. What are you tending to in your spiritual garden? Beautiful. I love this deck, by the way. This is My Friend Fire. Gorgeous deck. I'll link to this artist's shop. I just wanted to feature it because if I'm, receiving this beautiful medicine and using it to guide others, I want to showcase the artists. So beautiful. Planting, nurturing your seeds, being aware of where you place your focus matters. How you place your focus brings in this profound potential to manifest the reality that you want to see, and it will lead to a jump shift in your life, and as well as aligning you with enabling you to spend your time doing what you love. A message that I've seen a lot around on the internet is that more and more now we are being enabled to make money by existing. We're being enabled to make a living by doing what we love and by existing as who we are. And that said, money isn't necessarily like the baseline incentive. It's the ability to have access to food and, shelter, our basic needs. And more that is being enabled through doing what we love. And I think that's part of this new world coming in. Beautiful. That's the journey you're on. I hope that this has helped. And you got this. Don't forget to stay in your lane from the narcissists. You're a legend, and you deserve respect. And by setting boundaries and holding them, you are putting yourself in places where you will receive that respect. And you're opening doors for people to come in who respect you. Focus on your creativity. Create, meditate. You got this. You're bringing this in through your conscious actions where you spend your currency, whether it's your time, your focus, your awareness, your money. This is all currency. And when you are aware of how you're spending it, that's when beautiful shifts take place that are miraculous. Because that's where you're at. You've done some crazy, crazy, beautiful shadow work. And this is where it's bringing you. One last card that revealed itself is clothing. Let your outer express your inner. So if that resonates with you, using your self-expression to, continue to bring you out of your shell and bring you down this path. beautiful. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful.